Have you ever said something you immediately regretted? We've all been there, but for Whoopi Goldberg, a moment of poor judgment on The View has led to an $80 million nightmare. Now, she's facing the fight of her life against Elon Musk. In this video, we'll explore how Whoopi's words spiraled out of control and why this lawsuit could have far-reaching consequences for all of us. Whether you're a fan of Whoopi or Elon, this story will make you think twice about the power of your own words. Picture this: Whoopi Goldberg, comfortably settled on the set of The View, completely unaware that her next words would set off a chain reaction that would turn her world upside down. It was just another day on the popular daytime talk show, with Whoopi and her co-hosts discussing current events and celebrity gossip. But little did she know, her casual comments about Elon Musk and JD Vance would soon become the talk of the town for all the wrong reasons. As the conversation turned to the topic of space exploration and tech billionaires, Whoopi decided to share her thoughts on Elon Musk's latest ventures. "You know, I heard that Elon and his buddy JD Vance are planning to build some kind of space colony for rich folks," she said with a chuckle. "Can you believe it? They're probably going to charge a fortune for a ticket to Mars." The studio audience laughed along, but within minutes, social media was ablaze with confusion and outrage. Viewers were quick to point out that there was no evidence of such a plan, and many accused Whoopi of spreading misinformation. The backlash was swift and fierce, with Twitter and Facebook exploding with comments and memes mocking her statement. At first, Whoopi tried to brush off the criticism. During the next day's episode of The View, she attempted to clarify her comments. "Listen folks, I was just joking around," she said, waving her hand dismissively. "Everyone knows I'm not a space expert. It was just a bit of fun gossip." But her explanation did little to quell the growing storm. News outlets picked up the story, and soon Whoopi's face was plastered across TV screens and news websites. The headlines were brutal. Whoopi Goldberg spreads fake news about Elon Musk, and The View host makes wild claims about space colonization. As the controversy continued to spiral, an unexpected voice entered the fray. Elon Musk himself took to Twitter to address Whoopi's comments. In a series of tweets, he not only denied the existence of any such space colony plans, but also hinted at potential legal action. Disappointed to see such baseless claims being spread on national television, Musk wrote, "Perhaps it's time to remind certain individuals about the importance of fact-checking." The Twitter sphere exploded once again, with Musk's followers rallying behind him and calling for consequences. Meanwhile, Whoopi's supporters defended her right to express opinions and make jokes on a talk show. The divide between the two camps grew deeper by the hour, with heated debates erupting across social media platforms. As the days passed, Whoopi began to realize the true weight of her words. The playful comment she had tossed out so casually was now threatening to overshadow her entire career. She watched helplessly as clips of her statement were replayed over and over on news channels and shared countless times online, but nothing could have prepared her for what came next. Just when it seemed the controversy might be dying down, a bombshell dropped that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur known for his bold moves, had filed an $80 million lawsuit against Whoopi Goldberg for defamation. The news hit Whoopi like a ton of bricks. As she sat in her dressing room, staring at the headline on her phone, the gravity of the situation finally sank in. This wasn't just a Twitter spat or a temporary media frenzy. This was a legal battle that could potentially cost her everything she had worked for throughout her decades-long career. Whoopi Goldberg's world was crumbling around her. The woman who had once commanded laughter from millions now found herself facing a very different audience, one that wasn't laughing at all. As she sat in a dimly lit conference room, surrounded by her legal team, the gravity of her situation finally hit her like a ton of bricks. For decades, Whoopi had been the queen of comedy. From her breakout role in The Color Purple to her iconic performances on Broadway and in Hollywood blockbusters, she had always known how to captivate an audience. But now, as she listened to her lawyers break down the $80 million lawsuit against her, she realized that her quick wit and charm might not be enough to save her this time. At first, Whoopi had tried to brush off the whole thing. "It's just another controversy," she told herself. "I've weathered worse storms before." But as the days turned into weeks and the media frenzy around the case continued to grow, she began to feel the weight of public scrutiny bearing down on her. Every time she turned on the TV or opened a newspaper, there it was, her face plastered across the headlines, accompanied by words like defamation and lawsuit. Social media was buzzing with opinions, memes, and heated debates about her comments. It seemed like everyone had something to say about Whoopi Goldberg, and not all of it was kind. Behind the scenes, Whoopi was struggling to keep it together. The constant pressure was taking its toll, and those closest to her could see the cracks beginning to form in her usually unshakable confidence. Late at night, when the cameras were off and the world wasn't watching, she found herself lying awake, replaying her words over and over in her mind. How had a simple joke spiraled so far out of control? As the case gained more attention, fellow celebrities began to weigh in. Some, like her co-hosts on The View, stood firmly by her side, defending her right to speak her mind. Others were not so kind, using the opportunity to criticize Whoopi and call for her removal from the show. The division among her peers only added to the emotional turmoil she was experiencing. But it wasn't until a private meeting with her legal team that Whoopi's facade finally crumbled. As her lawyers laid out the potential consequences of the lawsuit, the financial ruin, the damage to her reputation, the possibility of losing everything she had worked so hard to build, something inside her broke. Tears began to stream down Whoopi's face as the reality of her situation sank in. This wasn't just another controversy to weather. This was a legal battle that could potentially cost her everything. Her emotional breakdown during this meeting highlighted the internal struggle she was facing, caught between her public persona and the very real fear of losing it all. As news of Whoopi's tearful apology leaked to the press, it sparked a new wave of discussion. Was her remorse genuine, or was it a calculated move to mitigate the legal consequences she was facing? The public was divided, with some seeing her tears as a sign of true regret, while others viewed it as just another performance from a seasoned actress. The lawsuit against Whoopi Goldberg had become more than just a legal battle between two public figures. It had reignited discussions about the role of talk shows in shaping public opinion and the responsibility of hosts like Whoopi to provide accurate and respectful content. Supporters of the lawsuit argued that it could force networks to re-evaluate their editorial practices and place a greater emphasis on accuracy. Critics, on the other hand, suggested that improved regulation and fact-checking processes should be implemented instead of resorting to legal action. Just when everyone thought the Whoopi Goldberg saga couldn't get any stranger, a feline twist emerged that left the public scratching their heads. In a press conference that will go down in the annals of bizarre celebrity moments, Whoopi decided to address the $80 million lawsuit head-on, but no one could have predicted the direction her defense would take. As cameras rolled and reporters leaned in, Whoopi began to speak about her cat. Yes, you read that right. The beloved comedian and talk show host, known for her sharp wit and no-nonsense attitude, claimed that her feline friend was the inspiration behind her controversial comments about Elon Musk. The room fell silent save for the furious scribbling of pens and tapping of keyboards as journalists struggled to make sense of what they were hearing. Whoopi explained that her cat's unpredictable behavior had led her to make an analogy about tripping that somehow morphed into her comments about Musk and space colonies. As she spoke, the confusion on the faces of those present was palpable. Was this a joke, a metaphor gone wrong, or had the pressure of the lawsuit finally caused Whoopi to crack? Within minutes of the press conference ending, social media exploded. Memes featuring Whoopi and cats flooded Twitter and Instagram. Some users photoshopped space helmets onto cats, while others created elaborate conspiracy theories about feline masterminds controlling Hollywood. The absurdity of the situation seemed to have no bounds, but while the internet had a field day with Whoopi's feline defense, legal experts were quick to weigh in on its validity, or lack thereof. Many argued that this bizarre explanation could seriously undermine Whoopi's credibility in court. One prominent attorney stated, "Bringing a pet into a defamation case is unprecedented, and frankly ill-advised. It trivializes the serious nature of the allegations and could be seen as an attempt to deflect blame." As if the situation wasn't already surreal enough, Elon Musk himself decided to join the fray. The tech mogul, known for his own provocative social media presence, tweeted a single cat emoji. This cryptic response sent his followers into a frenzy of speculation. Was he mocking Whoopi, hinting at some hidden truth, or simply enjoying the spectacle from afar. Meanwhile, back at The View, Whoopi's co-hosts found themselves in an uncomfortable position. The show, which prides itself on tackling tough topics, now had to address the elephant, or rather, the cat in the room. Some hosts attempted to support Whoopi, praising her creativity and suggesting that perhaps there was more to the story. Others, however, couldn't hide their concern. One co-host was overheard whispering, "I don't know how we're going to come back from this one." But just when it seemed the situation couldn't possibly get any more absurd, a bombshell dropped that sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. A source close to Whoopi revealed a shocking truth: she doesn't actually own a cat. The revelation left fans and critics alike stunned. Had Whoopi fabricated an entire pet to explain away her controversial comments? As news of the non-existent cat spread, Whoopi's credibility took another massive hit. Social media users who had initially found humor in the situation now turned to anger and disappointment. Many felt betrayed, questioning everything Whoopi had ever said on The View. Even longtime fans began to distance themselves, unsure of what to believe anymore. As Whoopi Goldberg's personal credibility crumbled, the spotlight shifted to the very platform that had given her such influence. The View, once a bastion of daytime television, now found itself under intense scrutiny. Could a show that had weathered countless controversies survive this latest storm? The answer would shake the foundations of daytime TV. The calls to cancel The View grew louder by the day. Critics accused the show of fostering division and spreading misinformation under the guise of entertainment. Elon Musk's lawsuit had opened a can of worms, and now everyone wanted a piece of the action. Some believed that Musk's legal action could force networks to implement stricter editorial practices. Others argued that improved fact-checking would be enough to save the show. But with Whoopi's emotional breakdown and her bizarre attempt to blame her non-existent cat, the debate about the show's professionalism reached a fever pitch. Behind closed doors, ABC executives were in a panic. Emergency meetings were called to discuss the future of The View. The once popular talk show had become a liability overnight. Advertisers, sensing the shift in public opinion, began threatening to pull out. The show that had been a cash cow for the network was now at risk of becoming a financial black hole. But here's where things got really interesting. Despite all the controversy, or perhaps because of it, The View saw an unexpected rise in viewership. People were tuning in by the millions to witness the unfolding drama. It seemed that the old saying, "there's no such thing as bad publicity," still held true. But this surge in ratings came with a catch. Supporters argued that it indicated a demand for higher journalistic standards and accountability. The public wasn't just watching for entertainment, they were watching to see if The View would clean up its act. The tension wasn't just limited to the executive boardrooms. On set, things were falling apart. Leaked footage of heated arguments during commercial breaks began circulating online. The co-hosts of The View found themselves divided. Some stood by Whoopi, while others distanced themselves, fearing for their own careers. The once united front of the show's hosts had crumbled, and viewers could feel the tension even through their TV screens. As if things couldn't get any worse, former hosts of The View began speaking out about the show's culture. They shared stories of behind-the-scenes drama and the pressure to create controversy for ratings. This added fuel to the fire, intensifying the scrutiny of how The View handled controversial topics. Critics pointed to a long history of inflammatory statements made by the hosts, arguing that the Whoopi Musk incident was just the tip of the iceberg. The situation had become a powder keg, and ABC knew they had to act fast. In a dramatic move, the network issued an ultimatum to The View: change or face cancellation. The show that had prided itself on pushing boundaries now found itself backed into a corner. The executives demanded a complete overhaul of the show's format, stricter fact-checking protocols, and a shift away from sensationalism. For Whoopi Goldberg, this ultimatum felt like a double-edged sword. On one hand, it offered a chance for redemption, a way to salvage her career and the show she had called home for years. On the other hand, it meant facing the harsh reality that her actions had brought The View to the brink of cancellation. As she sat in her dressing room, staring at her reflection in the mirror, Whoopi wondered if she had the strength to weather this storm. While Whoopi Goldberg grappled with the aftermath of her comments, Elon Musk was quietly laying the groundwork for a battle that would shake the media landscape to its core. The $80 million lawsuit against Whoopi wasn't just about defending his reputation. It was the opening salvo in a war that would redefine the very concept of truth in the digital age. Elon Musk had always been a vocal critic of what he perceived as fake news and biased media. From his tweets calling out journalists to his public spats with major news outlets, Musk had made it clear that he believed the current media landscape was broken, but no one could have predicted just how far he was willing to go to fix it. As the lawsuit against Whoopi dominated headlines, Musk's team was working behind the scenes on something much bigger. Leaked emails revealed a long-term strategy that would make the Whoopi Goldberg case look like a mere warm-up act. Musk's vision? Nothing short of a complete overhaul of how information is shared and verified in the modern world. The tech mogul took to social media with a vengeance, rallying his millions of followers under hashtags like Support Elon and Media Accountability. His tweets weren't just about Whoopi anymore, they were a call to arms against what he called the epidemic of misinformation. And people were listening, but not everyone in the tech community was on board with Musk's crusade. While some praised his efforts as a much-needed intervention in an era of fake news, others saw it as a dangerous overreach. Critics argued that Musk's actions could have a chilling effect on free speech, potentially suppressing dissenting voices and satire. As the debate raged on, Musk found unexpected allies in his fight against misinformation. Journalists who had long complained about the erosion of journalistic standards joined forces with tech entrepreneurs who saw an opportunity to innovate in the fact-checking space. Even some politicians, sensing the shifting winds of public opinion, began to voice their support for stricter media accountability measures. The ripple effects of Musk's campaign were felt far beyond The View. Other talk shows and news outlets started to nervously reevaluate their practices. Some doubled down on fact-checking, while others opted for more cautious, less controversial content. The entire media landscape seemed to be holding its breath, waiting to see what Musk would do next. And then, just when everyone thought they had Musk figured out, he dropped a bombshell that would change everything. In a live-streamed event that drew millions of viewers, Musk unveiled his secret weapon in the war against misinformation, an AI-powered fact-checking platform he called Truth Seeker. Imagine a world where every claim, every statement, every news article can be instantly verified, Musk told the rapt audience. That's not the future, that's now. Truth Seeker, Musk explained, would use advanced artificial intelligence to scan and verify information in real time, providing users with instant fact checks and reliability scores for any piece of content they encountered online. It was a bold vision, one that promised to put the power of truth back in the hands of the people. The announcement sent shockwaves through the media industry. Some hailed it as a revolutionary tool that could restore trust in journalism, while others feared it could be used to manipulate public opinion on an unprecedented scale. Legal experts began to speculate about how such a technology might influence future defamation cases like the one against Whoopi Goldberg. As the dust settled from Musk's announcement, it became clear that the lawsuit against Whoopi had evolved into something much larger. It was no longer just about one comedian's ill-advised comments. It had become a symbol of a movement, a turning point in the ongoing battle for truth in the digital age. As the legal battle between Whoopi Goldberg and Elon Musk raged on, the real drama unfolded in the court of public opinion. What started as a tidal wave of support for Whoopi from her longtime fans quickly turned into a raging storm of controversy that swept across the nation. At first, it seemed like Whoopi's loyal followers would stand by her side no matter what. Social media was flooded with heartfelt messages of encouragement and fond memories of her iconic roles. But as more details of the case emerged, a growing divide began to form. The once united front of Whoopi supporters started to crack under the weight of new information and conflicting opinions. Then came the videos that shocked everyone. Footage of fans burning Whoopi's books and movie collections went viral overnight. It was a sight no one expected to see. Longtime admirers of the comedian were now publicly denouncing her, setting fire to their prized possessions in a dramatic display of disappointment. The internet was ablaze with these fiery acts of protest, and the flames were spreading fast. As the controversy grew, so did the intensity of public engagement. Two distinct camps emerged on social media: Team Whoopi and Team Elon. What started as a simple hashtag war quickly evolved into full-blown online movements. Supporters on both sides created memes, shared articles, and engaged in heated debates that often spilled over into real-life conversations. The divide didn't stop at ordinary citizens. Celebrities and public figures began taking sides, making bold statements that further fueled the fire. Some praised Musk's stance against media bias, while others criticized the lawsuit as an attack on free speech. The entertainment industry found itself caught in the crossfire, with friendships strained and collaborations put on hold as stars chose their allegiances. But the impact of this public opinion battle wasn't limited to social media squabbles and celebrity drama. Both Whoopi and Elon soon discovered that their business ventures were feeling the heat. Whoopi's product lines faced boycotts, while some of Musk's investors expressed concerns about the potential fallout from the lawsuit. The court of public opinion was now directly affecting their bottom lines. As if the situation wasn't already complex enough, conspiracy theories began to emerge from the depths of the internet. Some claimed the entire lawsuit was a publicity stunt orchestrated by both parties. Others suggested it was part of a larger plan to manipulate the stock market. These wild theories gained traction, adding another layer of confusion to an already chaotic situation. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any more unpredictable, a shocking poll revealed a major shift in public opinion. The results sent shockwaves through both camps. The survey showed that a significant portion of the public now believed both Whoopi and Elon were in the wrong. People were tired of the drama and wanted accountability from both sides. This unexpected turn of events left both Whoopi and Elon facing new challenges. The court of public opinion had delivered its verdict, and it wasn't what either of them had anticipated. Now they both had to figure out how to navigate this new landscape where neither of them held the moral high ground. What started as a celebrity feud between Whoopi Goldberg and Elon Musk was now poised to reshape the landscape of media and free speech in ways no one could have imagined. As the legal battle raged on, legal experts began weighing in on the potential precedents this case could set. The implications were staggering, and the ripple effect was already being felt across the media industry. Talk show hosts and commentators were growing increasingly fearful. What if one offhand comment could lead to a career-ending lawsuit? The tension was palpable, and many were starting to second-guess every word that came out of their mouths. It wasn't just about Whoopi anymore. This case had the potential to change the way we communicate in the modern world, but the story doesn't end there. In a shocking turn of events, lawmakers were now proposing legislation inspired by the lawsuit to regulate media speech. The very foundations of free speech were being shaken, and the media industry was in an uproar. How far would these regulations go? Would we soon see a world where every word spoken on air had to be pre-approved by a team of lawyers? Just when it seemed like things couldn't get any crazier, an unexpected alliance formed. Media outlets that had been bitter rivals for years were now joining forces to fight these new regulations. It was a sight no one thought they'd ever see. Fox News and CNN standing side by side, united in their fight to preserve the freedom of the press. But this wasn't just an American issue anymore. The international community was watching closely, and the global implications of the case were becoming clear. Countries around the world were debating how to handle similar situations, and some were even considering adopting similar legislation. The Whoopi-Elon saga had become a global phenomenon, and the fate of free speech hung in the balance. As if things weren't already tense enough, a new trend emerged that sent shockwaves through the entertainment industry. Public figures emboldened by Musk's lawsuit were filing defamation suits left and right. It seemed like every day a new celebrity was taking legal action against a media outlet or fellow public figure. The courts were overwhelmed, and the legal system was struggling to keep up with the flood of cases. This surge in lawsuits sparked a heated debate about the future of live television and unscripted content. Would we soon see the end of spontaneous interviews and off-the-cuff remarks? Some argued that this was a necessary step to ensure accuracy and accountability in media. Others feared it would lead to a sterile, overly scripted media landscape devoid of genuine human interaction. As the world watched and waited for the outcome of the Whoopi Musk case, a bombshell dropped that would change everything. A leaked Supreme Court memo hinted at a potential landmark decision regarding media accountability and defamation. The memo suggested that the outcome of Musk's lawsuit could have far-reaching implications for media practices and public discourse. Legal experts were buzzing with excitement and apprehension. One prominent attorney, speaking on condition of anonymity, said, "This case could set a precedent for how public figures handle defamation claims against media outlets, potentially reshaping the landscape of media and free speech." We're talking about a decision that could influence future interpretations of intent and accountability in public discourse. The memo sent shockwaves through newsrooms and TV studios across the country. Producers were scrambling to adapt their practices, and hosts were more cautious than ever. The fear was palpable. Could one wrong word spell the end of a career? Or worse, could it lead to the downfall of an entire network? As the days ticked by, the tension continued to build. The outcome of this case had the potential to redefine the boundaries of humor and political commentary in mainstream media. It wasn't just about Whoopi and Elon anymore. It was about the very nature of public discourse in the digital age. The Whoopi vs. Elon saga has become a cautionary tale for the ages, showing just how powerful words can be in our digital world. What started as a casual comment on a daytime talk show has snowballed into a legal battle that's shaking the very foundations of media and free speech. As the dust settles, we're left wondering, what's next for The View, Whoopi's career, and Elon's crusade against misinformation? One thing's for sure, the media landscape will never be the same. This clash of titans has sparked a revolution in how we think about truth, accountability, and the role of public figures in shaping our conversations. As we watch this drama unfold, we can't help but feel like we're witnessing history in the making. The question on everyone's mind is, who will come out on top and what will be left standing when the smoke clears?